What do you remember about Vegas?
Precision is definitely a high advantage. Fortunately, I've done really well with my putting and my approach game. You know, I'm a different player than I was last year. I think I'm a way better player, and I think it's gonna be exciting.
How about that? What a shot.
Tom Kim was the man at the Shriners Children's Open last year in Las Vegas, defending his title. We're gonna look into some of the numbers and dive into that ShotLink data on why he was so impressive.
The impressive data from both Tom's wins can really shed light on exactly what is key to winning in Vegas.
At the 11th, Tom Kim.
Stay aggressive.
Yep.
Sounded good, didn't it?
Yeah.
Results pretty good too.
Just love that swing.
So Tom, you're going for 3 in a row. How do you lean on the data to defend again in Vegas?
I mean, I've won twice in the last 2 years, so basically really just look at my stats of the last year and just prepare for...
Just mimic what I've been doing.
Absolutely. To be honest, last year I've made a lot more mistakes than I did in 22. 22, I played perfect golf. I made 24 birdies and no bogeys.
Hasn't made a bogey this week.
Just won't give in.
And last year I had a lot more mistakes, but I felt like there's certain things I did better. I know this golf course really well, so I'm definitely going to be sharper with the things I didn't do well. So I'm actually like really confident about my chances going in, and I'm really excited. I can't wait to tee up in Vegas.
And now Tom Kim is going back to back in the desert. The winner for the second straight time at the Shriners Children's Open.
You're going week to week, different golf courses, different turf, sometimes different countries. When you look at ShotLink data, how do you kind of adjust that mindset going into tournaments?
Now for me, it's my 3rd year, so I kind of have been to all the golf courses. So memory-wise, I'll know what I need to do. But then again, you might stand on this hole and ShotLink might tell you that percentage-wise, driver works better. But on the tee, I'm like, well, I think it's a 3-wood. But
if your eye sees it, you'll still lean more on the data.
For sure, so like if I'm standing on the tee and I feel like it's a 3-wood, but ShotLink and data says it's driver and it's a higher percentage to make a birdie and less of a bogey, then 100% you'll stick to the data, because that's when actually data's really come into play. It helps you set up a game plan. I just think that helps a lot.
Tom Kim, slightly better angle. Let's see if he can take advantage of it. Oh, boy.
How do you win 3 in a row?
You know, maybe 4th in approach play and 2nd in putting.
just kind of follow
that game plan.
All right, so since we're talking about defense, and we're talking about data, and we're talking about how you played in Vegas the last couple of years, our dude Lou kind of dove into your numbers to find out exactly what you did extremely well and what you perfected over the last couple of years, especially last year. So we're gonna look at some of those numbers.
Numbers can tell a lot. When a player's approach play is dialed in, it's rare to also be leading in putting. So to crack the top 5 in both approach play and putting, and then do it again the following year, pretty much unlocked the cheat code to winning in Vegas.
With his 2nd from 116.
There's a lot of young...
Get that on camera?
You're marrying great putting, obviously the last couple of years, with great approach play and stroke play. If I was going to give you 2 things to be in the top 5 in week to week, what would you pick? Would you be picking these 2 things?
Absolutely. You know, approach play gives you a lot of opportunities, and putting is really what makes the score and momentum keep going. So when I look at myself winning golf tournaments, I'm always inside the top 5, at least approach, but I'm always inside the top 3 putting. And out here on the PGA Tour, when you can putt well, you know, it just saves so many shots, and you actually gain a lot of shots, which lead to better ball striking and better, you know, mentally.
There you go. Wow, from long range.
When you're working on approach play, I mean, you're such a great iron player. What are you working on? Like, let's say Monday, Tuesday of tournament week, what are you focused on when you're spending time on the range?
Number 1 is my sequence with my golf swing. I'm working really hard in making sure the way I'm delivering my club and my routine is really, really consistent, so I'm sharp every day.
Let me tell you something, this kid is not afraid. I would not be surprised if he stuffs us in there. Goes right after it. He knows.
Almost jarred it.
Is there something you tell people when you're playing in pro-ams, when they ask you for, you know, little tips to help their game, something they can do on the range?
They come to the range and they just start hitting, you know, a 7-iron for the first shot.
Okay.
You know, I feel like you should start warming up with wedges and kind of build yourself up. And I mean, if it's your home golf course, you'll know what type of shots you need. So instead of just going out and hitting shots, really think about, okay, how many 7-irons am I going to hit today? How many 5-irons am I going to hit today? Focusing on that points of what helps you score better.
Will you do that?
Absolutely. You know, my sequence doesn't change, but you know, I'll hit a few more shots with certain clubs. There's certain par 5s where you just need a little bit more spin.
Okay.
So I'll hit a few more shots with a 3-wood, being able to, you know, create height and spin the ball. If you hit it on the range and your mind kind of captures it, and once you get there, it kind of feels more comfortable.
Not much left for Tom Kim.
We were looking at your numbers from the way you played in Vegas at the Shriners Children's Open, and last year you picked up a shot around on the field. That happens 1% of the time in pro golf.
Okay.
When you hear you did something that only happens 1% of the time in professional golf, what does that say about the way you hit the golf ball?
It's very, very satisfying. You know, I think, you know, I work really hard on my long game, and, you know, to have that 1%, you know, just it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the 1% and then you're in the 1% of the 1%, right?
I love that.
Confidence in what he's doing, and I think that's the difference maker. He stayed confident.
Tom, thanks so much. Excited to see how you do in Vegas this year.
Thank you. Appreciate it.